Well, the escalating tensions between former President Trump and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis took center stage over the weekend. They both held separate rallies across the state, and Trump still has not actually endorsed DeSantis as he fights for re-election. So CBS News correspondent Enrique Acevedo joins me now from Miami to talk a little bit about this. So Enrique, I have to admit, I went down this sort of social media rabbit hole over the weekend. Oh my gosh. So Donald Trump has a rally and he kind of like leans back on some of his, tried and true tactics. He develops a nickname for Governor Ron DeSantis and he calls him Governor DeSanctimonious, which is not the best nickname, but I digress. And then I was really surprised at the reaction on social media from conservative commentators. A lot of people did not like that he did that. Can you talk a little bit more about the response? I don't know if Governor DeSantis had anything to say about that and what this means about, a potential matchup between the two.
It's like two boxers sizing each other up in the first couple of rounds, figuring out what the other boxer's strengths and weaknesses seem to be. I think that's where we're at right now. A lot of people within the Republican Party say that DeSantis is not going to run if Trump decides to be running for president again in 2024, which seems to be the case. We've reported that could happen as soon. That announcement could come as soon as November 14th. But President Trump also mentioned Governor DeSantis in his speech when he asked the crowd to vote for Marco Rubio. He also asked the crowd to vote to re-elect Governor DeSantis. I think, to be honest, they're in the stages of getting to know each other, and Governor DeSantis has the cash, has the power to go for a re-election bid, and he'll decide probably within the next couple of years.
And it sort of made me wonder also, well, let me ask you about something else, actually. New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu joined Margaret Brennan on Face the Nation Sunday, and she asked Sununu about former President Trump's potential run in 2024. This is what the governor said.
Former President Donald Trump is expected to announce his candidacy for the presidency. CBS is reporting that could be within a matter of days. What does that do to your party? Does anyone have a chance of actually beating him in a Republican primary?
What does it do to our party? Nothing. Nothing. It'll have no effect on anything. And I mean that quite sincerely. First off, announcing you're going to run for office between an election and Christmas is a terrible idea, because one thing I can say for America is we're all going to be really happy one way or the other that the election is over come Tuesday. And everyone's going to want to take a breath and re-engage with their families and deal with some really serious issues. And then politics, really gets back into the mix of things in early 23. Whether the President Trump decides to run or not, it's not going to make any difference in terms of the fact that you're still going to see 8 to maybe even a dozen other candidates jump in the race. He doesn't keep anybody out of the race, right? So it's still going to be, I think, on both sides. I don't think President Biden is going to run again. I think on both sides of the aisle, you're going to have maybe a dozen individuals over the next 6 to 9 months come out and decide to run.
So that's what he said. But what you just said is that Ron DeSantis may sort of take a step back or may think about it if former President Trump decides he wants to run again. Do we know what the general feeling in the party is about, the president running or whether or not there will be multiple people throwing their hat into the ring?
I mean, the governor is right in a sense that it's a terrible timing to announce a presidential campaign between Thanksgiving and Christmas or in the holiday season. But I think one thing we've all found out about Donald Trump is that the conventional wisdom doesn't really apply to his political tactics. And he's been very successful in the past by breaking those, conventional rules. I think within the party, there are a lot of people who are hoping that he doesn't run or that other people run, just so the party can have an appeal beyond Trump's base, beyond Trumpism. I think that's also what independents would like to see, two viable options from both parties. And right now, I do think that President Trump has shown he has a strong hold in the Republican Party. If the Republicans have a strong performance in the midterms, that just, I think, solidifies his position and his control over the party. So it's going to be hard to see people trying to challenge him for that nomination.
Yeah, I think so. But who knows? Maybe Ron DeSantis is the one based on what it seems to be. He's pretty popular.
People here in Florida want him to run. That's what I was trying to say. Like he has the money, he has the backup to do that. And I think he wants to do it. He's just going to figure out, I think, how the terrain looks in the next couple of years.
All right. And Enrique, thank you very much.